There should be a 4-second cutscene where all of us in the lore of Arena were tied up right before they send us out. Sanitar jabs us all in the neck, and we have painkillers we have 30-minute painkillers. That'd be more fun.
That is a solution.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I am one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam.
And I'm the reason why Jesse did not have fun playing Arena today. You heard it here first.
No.
End quote.
Yeah, literally just before this stream, Jesse said it. I promise, guys. No, what's up, man? How is the lawn mowing sim?
Dude, is so fucking...
Yeah.
It's crazy how much more enjoyable...
How much more zen it was.
Just how much more enjoyable the stream is when I'm playing a game that doesn't actively make me want to drop kick a poodle. And I love animals, so like that, that's...
Yeah. Okay, so... That's the fresh... What? Hold on.
What did you do? Did you run out of hard drive space?
No. I tried to pull up the patch notes for Arena, and it just gave me 404 error on the website, but then it worked. That was weird.
404.
Page not found.
Improvement not found.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the big thing. There is some Tarkov news because there was an update and some hilarity going on in and amongst that. But the fresh thing is that yesterday morning, as of this recording, Arena wiped. We played for about 6 hours yesterday. We all got on at roughly the same time yesterday, and then we all hopped off at roughly the same time, and then we played for another 6 to 8 hours today, which is a pretty significant amount of time considering that the patch has only been live for 36 hours. You know what I mean? We played 12 to 14 of those hours.
Yep.
Man, I don't even know where to start. We can just go. So it was an Arena wipe, which was interesting. They wiped everybody's ARP. They wiped everybody's presets. They did that. And they did that because they reworked the tier system and the preset system and everything. And to their credit, it is a complete rework. They reworked some of the classes themselves. They added new classes. There are more classes. And they changed how you gain XP in those classes. Let's talk about it. How do you like the new way?
1 step forward, 7 steps back.
Yeah. And so to describe basically in the old way, if you hadn't played Arena or it's just been a while, there were like 4 classes, like Assault, CQB, Marksman, standard kind of like stuff. And then in those classes, there were normally 2 main trees. You would pick one of those trees, pick a kit. You use that kit, you get XP for the next kit in the tree. Sometimes it branches off, but you got to go down. And in the old way, you only got XP in the class and in the tree you were going for, and you only got XP for the class directly below you.
Yeah, class or classes. The children of the tree,
yeah.
the branches from, the direct descendant.
Yeah. That was it. And that was very frustrating for several reasons. We've talked about it at length on the podcast. The TLDR is you felt very... just a prisoner of that tree because how the matchmaking, the ARP system worked. If you tried to do another tree, you would have a really terrible kit. You'd have a really terrible kit against really good people. Not a fun experience. So then you use the same kit over and over and over again. You can be competitive, but it's not a fun experience because you're using the same kit over and over again. That was the old system. New system, you still have the classes. Those classes still have trees, but you can basically pick one kit you would like to be working towards and applying your XP towards in that tree on either side, which is nice. And you
get to... Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, yeah, and you don't have to use the direct parent to actually gain XP. You can use any of the kits that you have unlocked, and as long as you're in, Assault, for example, and you have this one selected, all your XP goes to that kit. Those are two humongous W's in the change.
Yep, and all of the kits are broken into 3 tiers, which we'll get into shortly. So there's 3 tiers, which is kind of like actually sort of what I had like proposed.
Yeah.
I tried to propose honestly, I said 3 tiers in like one of my simplified proposals as a figuring like this is oversimplified. Maybe there'll be 5, because before there was kind of like 6 or 7 or 8. Some people were saying 10 because there were really 10 sort of
ways down.
Rows down the tree. So there's 3 tiers. Like you said, they balance a bunch of the kits inside of the tiers, but yeah. So just in case it wasn't clear, you use any kit you want that you've unlocked in a tree. You pre-select which kit you want your progress to go towards.
Yep.
You can choose anything that is directly below something you've unlocked in that tree.
Yeah.
It can be, you can use a tier 1 kit and you can be unlocking the 9th thing on the right side when you're on the left side. You can be unlocking things below to the right when you're down and to the left. It doesn't matter. You just have to unlock the prerequisite stuff beforehand.
Yeah.
And you have to manually, explicitly go and say, I want my XP for CQB or for Scout, you know, to go towards this class.
Yep. And those are huge W's with that change. It was very grindy before to get down to the bottom of your tree, and then there was no reason to move around to other trees. So the new system, those are great additions, great things people have been asking for. The problem is that what they did was they basically, on a vertical tree, if you just have like one thing on top of one other thing and you go like 10 down, they've cut those into 3 different, they call them tiers. So tier 1 kits are basically lower tier, bad guns, bad armor. Tier 2 kits, better. Tier 3 kits, best. Meta. The thing is that you can't use tier 2 kits until you have unlocked 5 of them. So you use a kit, you unlock the tier 1 kit below it, and then you unlock the tier 2 kit, but you can't use the tier 2 kit. So you can go to another tree and do that 5 more times, or you can stay in your one tree and then just keep pulling all your XP to be unlocking multiple kits in the tree you're doing, but that you're unable to use.
And the reasoning behind that is important. The quote unquote, I use reasoning with air quotes.
Yeah.
Because I think in order to combat the fact that they are, I guess, only capable of making like 2 decent kits that people want to use.
Yeah.
What you ended up with was basically towards the end of the wipe in arena, you just have 4 and 5 mans all running like the butcher kit. Everybody would just run the same kit. So in order to combat that, right, we're just going to look, me see problem, me hit problem with hammer, rather than address the fundamental underlying issue, which is the balancing and lack of control over what you can choose and whatever, right? Like, if you, like, for example, if you had the ability to customize a kit, you could make one that you enjoyed more than the one meta one, or, whatever.
Yeah.
So in order to fix that problem that they created, they basically said, okay, you can only have one kit, one preset selected per 5-man team.
Yeah.
So I found this out the first game. I'm like, okay, cool. I sat there for 15 minutes looking at all the trees. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go down this path. Boom. I'm going to use kit A. All right, let's do this. I accept the game, get into the queue, and I'm solo queued.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm good. And all of a sudden, bloop, I see the kit that I was going to select get grayed out, and it was selected by someone else. And now it's like I have to choose another one.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So that's a huge thing. So you need to unlock 5 tier 2 kits so that when you get to tier 2 lobbies, everyone can pick a tier 2 kit. Because if you only had 3 tier 2 kits unlocked and you're in a tier 2 lobby and your 3 teammates picked those 3 tiers, well, now you don't have any tier 2 kits to go into a tier 2 lobby. I think that's a crazy way to do it. I understand and I don't necessarily completely disagree with the thought process of, hey, let's make it so your whole team can't pick one selection. I think even in a perfect world where all the kits were perfectly balanced, you'd want that. Maybe no more than 2 or something, some rule there so people don't, like form these crazy metas where like, even if the kits are balanced, everyone just puts on this kit and then steamrolls. I don't inherently disagree with that, but I just don't know that it was ever thought like, how does that decision that maybe solves this problem affect the player, affect the fun and enjoyment of the game? Does this solution create more problems? Because one of the biggest critiques of Arena before was that it was grindy, was that it took forever to grind down a tree and that felt pretty bad. Well, I have 3 tier 2 kits unlocked, but I can't use them. So it's like they faked it being less grindy. It's like, dude.
It's more grindy.
Yeah, it's like, dude, look, you already unlocked. It's day 1. You unlocked this kit. It's a G36 60 round mags, class 5 armor. You got meds. Like, this is sick. Can I use it? No, you have to do everything you just did 4 more times. What?
And so do all of your friends if you want to play with them.
Yeah. So but I unlocked it. Like, it's so weird, and it's so in a weird way it feels worse because there's a little XP bar on the kit you're going for, right? And you grind, you win, and you see that XP grow up, and you see it go up, and you see it. And the dopamine of seeing it hit the end is I get to use that kit now. And yes, it's like...
That was the one saving grace of the last system, was like, I just grinded for 20 hours, I unlocked it, thank you. Now it's, I grinded for 20 hours, and I'm 20% of the way there.
I'm 20% of the way there, dude. It was crazy. So that's what I'm saying. So can I see why some of these decisions were made? Absolutely. 5-man's running Butcher, last wipe in Arena, bad. That didn't feel good. But it also, it's one of those things where it's like, you run into 5-man teams, like, I don't know, so I'm going to make this up, right? You run into 5-man teams running Butcher if you're a more casual player 20% of the time. In this new system, 100% of the time you unlock your first tier 2 kit, you can't use it. 100% of the time when you unlock your second tier 2 kit, you can't use it. So it's like, what did we sacrifice in the name of fixing this problem? Sometimes you would run into that problem where everybody picked the same kit. But as your solution to that sometimes problem is that all the time, everyone that plays your game, it doesn't feel good to unlock this kit. You know what I mean? And so it was weird. It's a weird system, man. And it doesn't make me feel good about unlocking stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would personally disagree that it's bad. The concept of preventing the 5-man, and I'll explain why.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of every other problem in Tarkov, which is, okay, you're a battered wife. You have black eyes. The problem is I have black eyes. The solution, I put makeup on, not I murder my husband. Right. That got dark.
That got real dark.
What? Let me ask you this. Why is a 5-man running the same kit?
For sure.
Why is it bad? Why is that bad? It's only bad if that kit is overpowered and you don't have access to it.
Yeah. For sure.
You're
right. Yeah.
It's not. There's nothing inherently bad. Now I can see a game like Valorant, where there's like very special powers that are meant to synergize, and there's immersion around. There's not 5 warthogs on the team. There's characters that there's an argument to be made around that, right? But to me, The problem is that there is no... The only thing that matters is your ability to kill and your ability to survive. And one kit did it better than everything else.
Yeah.
And
so that's still the case. We'll talk about that in a second.
In my opinion, the right way to solve that is by whatever you have to do. Insert thing here to where the end result is multiple classes have different time. It's different types of utility and value.
Yeah.
That are worth playing.
Yeah.
And then the like normal evolution of people's preferences being just different. Like if they're all viable for similar or different reasons, then you won't have 5-mans running Butcher and there's no problem.
Yeah, for sure. I forgot what I was going to say. I think,
when you said that's still the case, or
no. Well, that's for later. Yeah. I hear where you're coming from. And I definitely see that, where in a world where the kits are just balanced, then, presumably if you did run a 5-man of one kit, you'd be sacrificing a great deal of something in order to do that. If everyone has this, then nobody's got range, nobody's got ears, nobody's got meds, nobody's got utility. There'd be some sort of sacrifice that could then be exploited by the other team to give them a fair shot. So I agree with what you're saying, where it's like the problem wasn't, the core of the problem wasn't people were running 5-man Butchers. The core of the problem was Butcher is incredibly overpowered. But if you make your solution, if you point your solution in the wrong direction, then we're gonna get that. But here's the deal. As I've said before, I don't come on this cast to like say I wish they had just done it my way. I don't know. As I've said many times, I have no experience in competitive shooters and comp shooters, Valorant, CS:GO, nothing. I've never played a league match. I have nothing. So, man, I have been very mentally overwhelmed by people asking me, is Arena better? Is it fixed? Did they fix it? They don't know anything about comp play, because I don't know either. It felt like the old system was like calculus, and it was like needlessly complicated. And I was like, man, this doesn't feel right. And then the new system is like particle physics. It's like, wait, you made it more complicated? Because you and I, 14 hours into the patch, I still don't know what happens when we get 5 tier 2s. Let's say we all get 4 of us get 5 tier 2s. Seal gets off work this weekend, and it's like, dude, I'm excited to grind Arena with you guys. He's got no tier 2s. We all have 5 tier 2s. Can we play tier 2 lobbies?
No. I'm 99% sure no.
If we can't, the fact that it's not 100% 14 hours in is crazy. If we can't play tier 2 lobbies, can we play tier 1 lobbies with our tier 2 kits? Does it just lock off the tier 2 kits? Because if so, then that just means that by playing with my friend, I've extended the amount of time I can't use these kits, which means I don't want to play with my friend. And we don't even know the answers to these questions hours and hours in. So it's like, it's more complicated. And I don't know, once again, I don't know the solution. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know like how to make it perfectly balanced for comp. All I know is that like if I'm on, and you can call me a freaking whiny bitch that just hates BSG, I don't care. All I know is that like it doesn't make me want to play.
And that's all you have. That's all you have to know. Like you're saying that you don't have this experience, you're not a game designer. None of that matters. All that matters is that you're not having fun.
Yeah.
And that is all that you need. That's the license that you need to say, I'm not having fun, and here's why. Fuck what anyone else says.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
It's irrelevant.
But so it's like, it just, I don't know. Well, not that I don't know. I know that it doesn't make it more enjoyable to me. It doesn't like, I still feel like this, where's the meta of like what class I should be unlocking? Like we were doing math earlier. We were like, okay, well, should we go to each tree and unlock preset 1, preset 2, and then tier 2 preset 1 in each tree, or should we stay in a tree and unlock the thing? Because, and the reason we're having to do that math is because we all unlocked one tier 2 kit and then saw what that meant. We were like, okay, we have to do this times 5, right? Like we saw the amount of time we have to invest before we even get to play with a single tier 1 kit. And none of us said this with words, but we all said this in our brain. I don't want to waste that invested time. If I spend all that time, get to my tier 2 kits, and then go, shit, I should have unlocked this kit, but I didn't know, I have to then do it all again to unlock that kit. So it was like, we were like, what are we doing? What should we do? Like, it's not because we're trying to metagame it. It's because we're not trying to waste our time. And in a game, the progression, I think this is a big thing that I wrestle with in Arena is like, they really want progression. They want, you work through these tiers and it just doesn't feel like, obviously in Call of Duty, like other arena shooters, there's progression. You pick a gun and you level up that gun, but it cannot be understated how minor the difference is between like when you have Call of Duty and you start with the M4 and when you end with the M4, how minor that difference is compared to a Tarkov kit where you have no ears, aniline painkillers instead of stims, a car med kit instead of a Salua, 2 tourniquets instead of 1, the 3 hemostat, armor with plates at 50% durability in the back. I swear to God, Veritas, I had an armor that had a class 4 plate in the front that was at 50 durability and a class 3 plate in the back that was at 100% durability. What the, God. So the difference between a COD kit where there's progression, the difference between starting and ending that progression is so minimal compared to what can happen in Tarkov between kits. And so this progression, they're so married to it, and I just don't know what it means because like in Call of Duty, and I'm just using Call of Duty as an example. Oh my God, I don't want Tarkov to be Call of Duty. But what I'm saying is that in some of these other games, the progression, like when you get to the end of the progression, you can kind of use whatever you want. The Tarkov Arena progression is set up in a way where like everything I'm using right now is trash. When I get done with this, I'm never coming back to the no buttstock, no dust cover AK with EKO rounds. So that's a really big difference. Progression in Call of Duty is every gun you progress, when you get to the end, you kind of want to use that gun. In Tarkov, it's all about churning and burning. I'm never going to use this kit again. I'm never going to use this kit again. I'm never going to use this kit again. I'm never going to. So it's like, what am I doing? And then when you get down to the bottom, it doesn't make you want to go start at the top. And so I really struggle with like that as a component to this game. Like, why are we here? What are we doing?
Yeah. So they both solved and ruined the issue. So like, before, the problem was you spent all this time getting to the end of the tree, and then all your time playing the game was wasted time because you weren't making any progress anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that felt shitty, right? Because you're like, I'm going to use this for a week. I'm going to get bored with it.
Yeah.
I want something else, and then I got to start at the beginning.
Yeah.
At least now you can, if you made all the way down to the end of the left tree.
Yeah.
You can start progressing the right side because maybe there's something all the way on the bottom right of the tree you want to use.
Yeah.
You can start making progress on it. So it's better in that regard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and in the same vein, how you said that like us trying to min-max the XP,
yeah,
which I want to actually talk about those numbers briefly just so people know.
Yeah.
It's not about metagaming like you said. It's the fact that like last arena wipe, everyone was complaining that they were playing with a kit they didn't like, and they have to win 30 games before they get to use the next kit. Now the problem is that effectively you have to win 250 games until you can use the next couple of kits.
8 times? As
yeah. So to give a little rundown too of the numbers. What we ended up calculating, and I'm rounding them all.
Yeah.
But so think about it if you're just going linearly. Yeah. I'm just going to try to like have everybody picture there's let's just look at tier 1 and tier 2 because we like don't know anything about tier 3 and we won't until 2029.
Yeah.
You'll be on the moon before we get to use any tier 3 kits, but each tier, let's just say there's 3 levels.
Okay.
ABC, then you unlock tier 2.
Yeah.
Tier 2 ABC, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you start with tier 1A, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, 10,000, 15,000, 25, 50, whatever the number was to get to tier 2A.
Yeah.
It was like 125,000-ish XP.
Yeah.
To unlock the next couple, tier 2,
Okay. Yeah.
B and C.
Yep.
Right? Like you just keep going down the path that you've already unlocked that you still can't use, was like $250,000.
Yeah.
So it was basically twice as much to just unlock more kits in your existing tree than it was to go and unlock one tier 2 in every tree, even though all of that is in service of using the original.
Yes.
I want to use this scout build, so I have to. So the most efficient way is it's forcing you to be diverse against your will.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is so funny because that was a criticism of the previous system, that it's like there's no room for diversity. And it's just like I couldn't have made this up, that the solution is, okay, well then you have to be diverse. You're not allowed to use the kits you want to use. Like, that pendulum swing is crazy. It's wild. It's so it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, you could say that they gave us what we wanted, but it's like not like this. Like, that's such an extreme swing. I don't know, bro. Call me a freaking pleb or whatever, but I've been thinking about it. Like, I wish dude, at least for guns, bro, at least for guns, I wish they would just completely, like, dude, yeah, call me a freaking pleb if you want, but I feel like the Call of Duty method would work so well in Arena. You start
getting some sort of currency where you unlock attachments.
Not that, maybe that, but the way in which guns are unlocked and leveled up. Okay, what level are you in Arena?
Oh God, I don't even know. I stopped paying attention.
Why?
Because it's irrelevant.
Completely irrelevant. But there are levels. You level up, but it's irrelevant. What if level 1, you only get at level 1, you only get these 10 guns. It's a PP-19. It's the VPO, the 366 VPO, whatever. But let's say I choose the PP-19.
Oh, okay.
As I level up my mastery with the PP-19, I get access to 30-round mags. I get access to this terrible red dot, then this slightly better red dot, then this good red dot. I get access to PSTGZH, then, M8A2, then PSTGZH, then AP 6.3, then PBP. And I'm speechless at how much more fun I think that would be. And then, so you're leveling up to PP-19, and then, I got to level 9. At level 9, I unlocked the MP7. Do I want to finish mastering the PP-19 because now it's good, or do I want to go to the MP7 because I start with 20-round mags and iron sights? But if I level up the MP7, then I get to, this laser and 40-round mags, and I can maybe eventually get to FMJ. But on my way to do that, I get to level 27 in Arena, and I unlock the Vector. You know what I mean? Like, that would be, do you know why? Oh, let him cook. Do you know why that would be so much fun? Because, dude, I'm so sad because I want this so bad. Tarkov and Hutch made a take about this, and it's not unique to Hutch. I've seen a million people. 90% of why we all got into Escape from Tarkov is because we saw a clip somewhere of somebody in the weapon modification screen. That's not why we stayed to play Tarkov, but 90% of us, we were like, no way. No way. That is literally kicked out the door in Arena. I have to use the worst optic and the worst compensator and no flashlight, and I have no agency over my kit. In that Call of Duty style system, we can balance it where everybody starts with terrible guns, with terrible ammo and terrible sights. But here's my problem. I hate the sight on the G36, which is the best kit I can use because I don't have tier 2 kits. And now I'm literally deciding between using worse kits because I hate that optic so much? Or should I use my best kit to give me best performance, but like miss shots or miss targets in my peripheral vision because I hate this optic? In the other way, even if it's 8 terrible optics in a row, at least it's variety. At least it's like, oh God, I'm through with this one. And then we're like, oh, this one's almost just as bad. But it's like, and then boom, 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 boom. Like you get these smaller dopamine hits within the grind. And that I feel like would just go such a tremendous way in terms of like keeping people engaged and involved. And there are so many guns and there are so many attachments, and that grind to get all of those weapons max in arena it would probably be as much of a grind to get all the tier 3 kits. But it's structured in a way that keeps you engaged and keeps you with the dopamine hit, as opposed to just looking at your screen and being like, okay, I need 250,000 XP, where nothing is going to change between now and then. I'm not going to get to change my gun. I'm not going to get to change my optic. I'm not going to get to change my equipment. No, I have to just use this as it is for 250,000 XP, as opposed to this constant drip stream of like, ooh, I get to change. Oh, I unlocked this laser. I like the X400 better than I like the Kalash. Boom, 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 boom. Like,
yeah, what you explained. The current system we have is you play for hundreds of hours, and there are 2 milestones. You unlock all of the things you can do to play tier 2, and at that point you've unlocked 5 kits. You probably have unlocked the one you want to use that's going to be your favorite.
Yeah,
that's half of the progress.
Yeah,
and then you spend hundreds of hours more because it doubles as you go, so it's going to be even. It's going to double to get tier 3. Yeah, and it could even be like 7. Maybe it was. I don't even see how many it was.
Yeah.
So there's like hundreds and hundreds of hours to have 2 unlocks. Whereas the system you described is you're always looking forward to, in a couple of games, I'm getting the red dot I want, or the foregrip, or the suppressor, or whatever. And I also can't wait till I hit level 15, because then I'm going to get the AK, and I really want to play the AK. And then once you get the AK, then you're excited because you have a new gun, and I can't wait to get the red dot on the AK because the iron sights are a little tough, but it's only 2 or 3. So in every way, it's better. Now, I can see people saying, well, then how do you balance things? And my answer to that is the balance. If you give me basically any gun that I can think of in the game, the moment you have a red dot, as long as the ammo you can't change, I am going to perform 90 to 95% as well with like a foregrip and a red dot as I am with like the meta foregrip and a voodoo. Or whatever.
100%. I agree.
As opposed to iron sight, nothing else, I'm going to be like 10% as effective. The moment you get a dot that you don't hate, that's like 90% of the way there. So there really isn't a massive balance difference. And if it is, it's temporary until, like you said, you unlock the first thing. And then what you could do is the balance could be based on, well, I mean, skill-based, whatever, because then people are using whatever they want, and it's skill that matters. But then they could do something interesting where you choose a base character that is based on armor, their ability to hear, their protection, their mobility, their utility. Do you want the slow, tanky guy? You can couple that with an SMG or an LMG or a sniper rifle. Like, make that work, but at least there's noteworthy trade-offs there. And then that would naturally say, okay, dude, if we want to do this competitive thing, we need smokes and flashes, so we need 2 utility players. You play with whatever gun you want, but you have that kind of class. You then have your own way to customize, right? And then, but we also like need people up moving quickly to be able to push, or when we need a sniper, right? So you have all of these different, bro,
for sure. And just like, and you could balance it as well with like, you don't have to put every ammo in the game, right? Like maybe you stop 7.62 at PP, and you don't add BP or MAIIP because like, okay, if we got to that point, some of these guns have a high enough fire rate, it's like armor doesn't matter. Maybe you just don't put those in the game, but you could just still balance it out. Maybe you don't put the best, because then we want time to kill to be, at least a few shots, whatever. Yeah. And once again, what's crazy is that I feel like it's so crazy because that feels so Call of Duty, but it's Tarkov that built that system. Like, once again, I would be really interested to talk to somebody who doesn't feel like that, who doesn't feel like a quintessential part of the Tarkov experience has been just completely abandoned. Like agency over your weapon and the amount that non-gun people have learned as far as like what a compensator is, what a charging handle is, what a foregrip is, what, like the amount that we know and understand about these types of things now, we feel good about because we're like, now, I know, like I'm looking at this, that. I know which ones I like. I like this laser. Everyone says this one, but I like this one. I like it on the left side of my gun. You like it on the right side of your gun. That's all gone. And Tarkov, this is a big thing Hutch was saying too, that it was like, wasn't Arena supposed to be an introduction, like a stepping stone into that? I mean, literally Nikita said that. Day one of the wipe, not only do I have infinitely more agency over what my weapons look like, day one of the wipe, level 1 traders, but I get better stuff. Day one of the wipe, I can get an MP5, I can get a mount, I can put the red dot that I like on it. Day one of the wipe, nothing unlocked. Why can't I do that 20 hours into Arena? You know what I mean? So it's a complete reversal. You would have more fun engaging with that in Tarkov than in Arena. So that's what I'm saying. So it's like, you might say, oh, well, that's Call of Duty. Don't you know what? Copy Call of Duty. It's like they made some of these amazing systems and then said like, hey, this is going to be your taste. This is going to be your intro to those. And then they were like, nah, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah. I mean, people talk about this, the soul, the spirit of Tarkov.
Yeah.
There are many things that you could describe as the spirit of Tarkov. One of it is looting. Like one thing is looting. One of the things is gun modding. Another thing is like the medical stuff and how punishing that is, right? Which would you rather have in your high pressure, fast paced, quote unquote, sort of competitive shooter that's supposed to be an introduction to the game?
Yeah.
Which makes more sense? Weapon modding or medical
or fractured legs?
when it takes 90% of a round to heal the wounds that you got from the spawn.
Dude, you're cooking right now. 100%. Nobody in their right mind.
The clunky movement, the bad audio, the sketchy netcode, the bad medical shit.
Nobody in their right mind would argue that that's more of the spirit of Tarkov and that's more valuable and present in a competitive fast-paced arena like arcade shooter. Because you're absolutely right. The amount of times today, I have the VOD, I can pull it up. Two things happened to me today, like very distinct. I could find them if you wanted me to. One, the round started, I got flashed. By the time I could see, the round was over.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay. Other thing, round started, I got into a 1v1, I won. I had 3 heavy bleeds, a light bleed, and my painkillers wore off. Okay. By the time I was done healing, the round was over. Is that necessary? Like, you know what I mean? Like is that more of the spirit of Tarkov that should be crafted and grafted into an arena shooter? Me like with 4 people, he's in heaven, he's mid, he's heaven, low. And I'm like,
yeah, give me a bit.
Round 1, guys. Good job. As opposed to me being able to swap out my red dot. You're telling me that's more, oh my God. That's so that's a good way to put it. When you think of like, because I would argue that healing system is part of the spirit of Tarkov. But you could divide the spirit of Tarkov into like 5 different things. And if you look at those 5 things and go, which of these 5 things fit in a fast-paced arena shooter? That's where I say, okay, well, now we're crossing the line. I want that in Tarkov. I like the healing. I like how visceral it is. But in an arena shooter, if we made a trade of customizing my gun for bandaging myself, like, what are we talking about?
You take all of the adjectives that you would use to describe Tarkov and the soul of Tarkov, all the things you can do in the game, right? You sort it based on the things that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And if I were to say, okay, you can choose 3 that you get to put into arena, only 3 you can put in there. What they did is they sorted fucking descending, not ascending, in terms of fucking good stuff.
Yeah.
We got the audio, the bad audio, the bad netcode, the punishing medical system, the clunky, awkward movement.
Yeah.
And now all of the things that Tarkov makes up for, if you get flashed and you get fucked, or you get injured, you have time and the resources available to you to be able to take care of it and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
In arena, you literally just don't.
Yeah.
Imagine if Tarkov just kicked you from the raid if you had a bleed for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
You're totally fine. You stub your toe and you have a bleed, but if you don't heal it in the next 15 so if anything, it's training people to disregard the health. Because what happens is there's no point in me. If I have 3 heavy bleeds and 1 leg is blacked out, I have no CMS, I have a painkiller that already wore off, and I have 1 tourniquet. So why am I even going to bother with 1 tourniquet when there's 3 heavy bleeds? I'm going to shift W. So it's training you to do the opposite of what you should do in Tarkov.
Dude,
it's the opposite of what Nikita wants.
And you never said that to me. We didn't rehearse this. This isn't a scripted thing. Exactly. I've done the same thing. We arrived at that completely independently. We didn't talk about that earlier, but the amount of times today, I've literally had 3 open bleeds, 2 of them heavy, and I've just made that subconscious thought where I'm like, there's 2 guys left. I'm just going to push one. Like, the round's going to be over before I get the first heavy bleed off. I have information that my teammates are talking. I have information that's relevant, and if I fall back to heal, I have to wait until my teammates are finished calming, then calm the information that I had while I'll just push them. And if I die, then I'll give the information. Why would I heal? So you're absolutely right. I'm running around the map on heavy bleeds because the game is absolutely training me to ignore that stuff for sure.
Why would you heal? Why would you take the time to do anything other than take a painkiller, which makes it so you're not limping? Yeah. That's the only thing that I'll do. Yeah. Why would you heal if it makes it so you can't hear the already impossible to hear footsteps because all you hear is opening up the fucking, you hear like literally you just hear everything other than the things you need to hear. Yeah. You're prevented from engaging in any combat. The moment you press the button, I sit there and I'm like, do I heal the bleed? Yeah. Someone might be there. Yeah. Tick down in the bleed. Someone might be there. Tick down in the bleed. Fuck, I've already waited too long. But now it's too low. I gotta tick down in the bleed. Fuck. Okay, I'm gonna heal. Footstep. You die. Yep.
100%. 100%.
So, and the why would you heal if it's going to get you killed and you can't? 98% of the time, you can't actually fully heal to the point where you're like back up to full because you lose a limb or you don't have the resources to fix it. Yep. So you don't heal.
And dude, and the painkillers, like in Tarkov, the trade-off of painkillers is like hydration and energy. The more you take, you tank it and you have to eat. No arena match in the history of time has ever been decided by hydration or energy. No one's ever been dehydrated in an arena match ever. So all of the so half of the equation is gone. And so I say, let's get rid of the whole equation because what happens is every kit has painkillers now. That's a W because that's something that's a change. That's something we wanted. That was like a huge critique of the old system. every kit has painkillers now. And because every kit has painkillers now, is everyone's on painkillers for 90 seconds. Everyone's painkillers wear off at the same time with no visual indicator. And then everyone's on painkillers for the rest. So it's like, so the functional, practical mechanic of painkillers in Escape from Tarkov is at some point, you'll just start limping and die. Because you're not timing how long your painkillers are going, and you have painkillers to take. So if you see your painkillers go off, you just take more. So so it's like the functional practical is just sometimes it's just AIDS. That's what fractures and limping is in Escape from Tarkov Arena. Sometimes AIDS. At best, you don't know that system exists. And I would argue that's when you're having the most fun. So get rid of the system. At worst, you're giga molding, because if the guy had peeked you 2 seconds sooner, you would have killed him. If he had peeked you 2 seconds later, you would have taken more painkillers and you would have killed him. Why is it in the game? Why is it in the game?
So there's two problems we've talked about. I have recommended solutions for both. I think you'd be hard pressed to say get rid of the medical, like
not the medical system, just everyone should be the painkiller effect. There should be an infinite status effect. There should be, you know how every time you go to the gulag in Warzone, there's a little cutscene where they drag you in and they sit you down and you're in the gulag. There should be a 4-second cutscene where all of us in the lore of Arena were tied up right before they send us out. Sanitar jabs us all in the neck, and we have painkillers we have 30-minute painkillers. That'd be more fun.
That is a solution. I propose something different that I think retains the soul of Tarkov. It does three things: retains the soul of Tarkov, it trains players for the main game, and actually makes medding a thing that is something you actually have to consider. Okay. That isn't like 90% of the time a bad idea. Okay. And instead is like more 50-50. Bring back the 2018 1 second progress bar that goes no animation, and you get the effect of the thing.
Oh yeah. Someone in chat was saying that earlier too. Yeah.
So it trains you to be able to identify, I have injuries. I need to solve this problem with these three specific things in this specific way. Yeah. In this specific order. Yeah. And it does it such in a way that doesn't instantly get in your way, like we just described. But also, if you get shot and your leg gets blacked out, you shouldn't be able to use a painkiller until that happens. That breaking your leg should give you limping for 1 or 2 seconds. You hit the button, now you sprint. That's enough to it's like a flashbang that lasts a second in another game. Yeah. You have to account for that. In this way, you have I recognize the problem. I have a solution. Boom. I responded to it. Now I continue. Yeah. So it makes sense in this fast-paced environment. It also retains the soul of the reasoning, and also can train you. I mean, so that when you get into real Tarkov, it's a more hardcore version of what you just learned. Yeah.
Well, the better solution, that's better than my solution and better than that solution, is the same solution for Tarkov, and that's the adrenaline effect. You can't take painkillers until you have a black leg. As soon as you get a black leg, you have a 4-second countdown where you can sprint, and then you have to take painkillers. That would be even more fun in Arena, because you would get the feedback that you were busted and need to take painkillers, and you have a second or two to react and then get to cover and then take your painkillers. So and that would work in both games. And so it would retain that training you for Tarkov thing.
So I don't disagree. I have had a different experience in that I don't pre-pain.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I've also not once in the 16 hours we played died because I didn't have painkillers.
Oh,
I die way before that. I get one tapped in the head, so it's irrelevant. I either get one tapped in the head or I win a fight and I'm shredded. And I'm shredded, which means I have one bandage and one tourniquet, and I have 3 heavy bleeds, a light bleed, and my chest is 11 HP, my head is 4 HP, and my arms have the bleeds.
Yeah. I can't believe.
So the painkiller was irrelevant there. The adrenaline effect doesn't solve the fact that I'm just going to shift W because I can't. Even if I had 5 tourniquets,
yeah,
I don't think I'd have the time to heal all the bleeds when it's a 1v1 and the guy's on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, well, for sure. But the Sanitar thing and your thing didn't fix those things either. We're only talking about the painkiller effect. I completely agree that the painkiller is only a part of it. I cannot believe that you still can't hold and select what body part you want to heal. That has become
I still haven't used that system.
Such a valuable thing in Tarkov, and for every reason it's valuable in Tarkov, it's 10 times more necessary in Arena.
Yep.
Because like you said, you never walk away from an Arena fight kind of hurt. You walk away a shell of a man, and you're
untouched.
And you, in that moment when you walk away a shell of a man, you, Veritas, you look up in the corner and you immediately subconsciously know what order you want to heal, like what you want to heal first. You might not know what you want to heal ninth, but you immediately know what you want to heal first. And the fact that I can't make that decision is crazy, especially when they put it in the main game a year ago.
Yep.
That's mind-blowing to me. That's crazy that they didn't put that in. Like, wow. Now, let's talk about some of the kits, because I really just want to talk about one. This is why I had fun after you guys left. Okay? This is it. Shotguns are OP. And by OP, I mean fun. They're fun. I went from 6 hours of genuinely not having fun to 3 hours of genuine fun. So Hambino, all day, you and me were both all day in the kill cam because we die immediately watching Hambino clutch.
Doing 1v3s with the flechette
with the shotgun, okay?
The pump action.
He's leveled up his shoddy kit. Jay hopped in. Okay. We had Hambino on the MP153 with Express Buck. So semi-auto, bam, 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 bam. We had me on the M870, I think, which was a pump, but with Piranha, which is kind of like Flechette light. And we had Jay Bebe, because he was lower level than us, on the Flechette shotgun.
So all running shotguns, wow, it's like all butchers.
We didn't lose a game. And you want to know why? It's because especially with these pump shotguns, it feels the way it should feel most of the time, more of the time than with other guns, where when I lose, I whiffed. And when I win, I hit. The amount of times today, I have clips on clips on clips on clips today. I have everything imaginable. I have me shooting left of a guy's head, clearly missing, and me killing him, not knowing how it happened. I have clips of me shooting a guy in the face. I die. Kill cam says I shot him 11 times for 380 damage. He one-taps me, and because there's no aim punch on the kill cam, I don't know how the hell that happened. I have every clip imaginable, and it was the most frustrating to me. It was just like, either I'm using Warmageddon and I have 3 pen and I just can't kill these guys, or I'm shooting a guy 17 times and it's just not working, and then I don't know. With a shotgun and Flechette, dude, I either watch the clip back and go, I missed, I shot right over his head, or if I hit, because all of the bullets hit, he dies. You know what I mean? If an AK, if I shoot 11 shots, I have to go like this, bam, 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 bam. And it's like, in that little amount of time, you go on such an emotional journey where you're like, die, 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 and then you die, and you're so mad. But with a shotgun, you're like, boom, oh, I missed. Boom, oh, I missed. I'm dead. And then you laugh because you're like, I whiffed. Or you just hit it, and all 11 pellets hit at one time, and they die. And we were unstoppable. And it was so fun.
Sniper rifles should feel, but don't feel.
Like sniper rifles should feel, but don't feel. Yes. And it's funny because it started matching us against other teams with 2 or 3 shotgun dudes. And we were all just running shotguns, and it was so fun. And
And shotguns don't suffer from the shitty random, even though the recoil is infinitely better than it used to be.
Yeah.
It's still me, Velian, you have clips where we're going, and the person had their back turned to us and they just kind of went left and they went right and they turned towards us and all the bullets were like this.
Yep.
And it was like there's no amount of skill that would have been able to adjust in the nanosecond,
because you don't know where it's going to jump. Because if you just stood at a wall, exactly, if you stood 10 meters from a wall and just held mouse 1, every spray pattern would look different. So you can't in that moment be like, oh yeah, I forgot the G36 goes to the left, I'm going to pull to the right.
They go like this.
You just say it went to the left last time, so I'm going to pull to the right, but then it went to the right this time, and you look like you can't aim because you're way off to the right. It's crazy. So, dude, shotguns were the key to life. It was crazy, dude. And it makes me sad. I hate shotguns in normal Tarkov, and I'm not very good with them. But here's the thing. It was more fun because it felt... I was using guns I'm worse with. I'm really bad with semi-auto stuff. I'm a full auto Andy. And so a pump action shotgun, yuck. But it was the only gun in the game where it felt like when I pointed at them and I flicked correctly, they died. Because 8 rounds of flechette hit them and you just die with the armor people are wearing. Or I died because I missed. And the amount of times that I was whining about the hit reg went way down. It was still happening because the hit reg is genuinely terrible. But you know what I mean? So like, it's just such a blanket of bullets all at once. And it's just like, oh my God, it was so much better. It was so much better. But no, go ahead. Cause I'm going to kind of change.
I was going to say, I really feel like the significance there, the fact that it's a gun you're worse with is overshadowed by it removes the 2 major aspects of why it feels bad to lose a fight, which is the recoil taking away from you being prepared and having good aim, like putting your crosshair on their neck and pressing mouse 1. Jesus, take the wheel. If I don't hit the first shot, then them moving and you trying to aim, even if you semi-auto, it's still just like so that coupled with you aimed for their chin, but they turned and their forearm was in the way, and that one bullet hit the forearm, whereas with a shotgun gets around the annoying part of one bullet anywhere other than the head never kills anyone, but 5 bullets, 5 needles in a combination of places will kill people so much more often. So all you needed to do was aim here-ish and click mouse 1. It was the timing of, imagine this. Versus
100%.
Arm, ricochet, arm, ricochet, armor block, stomach, arm, and you're dead.
100%. 100%. Yep. Now the flip side of that is that we have to talk about, they've completely rebalanced the kits and done new kits, and like we said, they added painkillers to all the kits, and they changed it around. But the new kits, that kit is insane. So it's
I don't remember dying to the shotguns. Maybe people hadn't figured it out yet.
Figured it out, bro.
Because like people were saying that maybe it was Valiant or one of them was saying that or actually might have been you, that the new Alton kit was like the shotgun.
It is.
And I'm not like disagreeing. I didn't experience it.
Yeah.
I never died to it. So
the reason we're confident about it is for that reason. It's we figured it out. Yeah. It was like figuring out. It was like the first one to unlock the Alton kit. But here's what's crazy. The reason no one's figured it out is because it's a free kit, brother. In the CQB kit, I have to use a terrible gun to unlock an M4 with 20 round mags and War Mage in it. Okay, 3 pen, like 80, 70 damage or whatever. 3 pen. Then I unlock a G36 with a terrible sight and 30 round mags and and RRLP. Okay, RRLP has 11 pen, 72 damage. Okay. Neither of those kits have helmets. Okay. And they both cost money. They both cost 80 grand. Okay. The Flechette kit is a free kit that costs no money. That comes with level 3 armor from my crotch to my neck. It comes with a level 3 helmet, a level 3 face shield, and a shotgun that shoots Flechette, where each pellet has 31 pen, and each pellet does 25 damage. When I have my M4 with War Mage, that dude's unkillable. 3 pen on War Mage. I can hit him 6 times in the chest, 6 times in the face, and he won't die. I have to reload.
But armpit.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. That kit is free, and it has a flashbang. It has a flashbang, it has meds, it has armor that covers the most of your body. It has a level 3 helmet and a level 3 face shield. Do you remember today how many times I told Hambino, I was like, dude, how do people just miss on you? How do people miss on you all the time?
They were hitting
him.
But you couldn't see
I swapped. He said, dude, you left. And he said, yo, I unlocked the next shotgun kit. You used the Flechette kit. I cannot overstate how many bullets I absorbed. The kits, everyone else is using MP5, PPSH, EKO rounds in the VPO, the Warmageddon M4. You're unkillable. I had 30 times after you left where I got hit 4+ times in the face and won the engagement, and just went and shift W'd into another guy. Every single one of those times, you and me were molding because we were using similar kits. Every single one of those times, it was...
I was hitting 3 to 11 times on the enemy, and I was dying to 1 bullet to my face every time.
That never happened again after I swapped to the shotgun. Because if they only hit 1 bullet on me, I tanked it. The only times I died were when they hit multiple bullets on me, which is fair. That's when I go, GG's, I whiffed, right? But if I hit you 11 times and you turn around and hit me once, I'm like, where was the aim punch? How did you track me like that? Like, that's crazy. But if you turn around and hit me 6 times, I go, damn, I whiffed that. GG's.
You know what their solution is going to be?
To the shotgun kit, it's just easy. It's easy mode.
They're going to give it like the worst buckshot.
Yeah.
So now 1 and 2 fun kits will go to 0.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of making the other kits better. Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's crazy that kit is free. And that the next 2 kits are worse in every way. Like the next kit, you also have a level 3 helmet, and you have a level 2 face shield, and you have slightly worse armor, and you have a pump action shotgun with slightly worse ammo. Make that make sense. Worse face shield, worse armor, worse ammo, pump action shotgun. That's the kit that costs 70,000 rubles to buy. Then the kit after that, you get a 155, but you get express buckshot, and you get no helmet, no face shield, level 3 armor. So you're like, so that's a pretty rough one. But then the next 3, the 3 tier 2 shotgun kits are insane, bro. They're insane. But so like, it's crazy that I just like don't, dude. I don't know who.
I
don't know who balanced these kits, dude. It's crazy.
I have to say. So you played Arena, but you had limited experience.
Last time, yeah, I played for like 2 weeks and then stopped playing for 2 months.
So you did play with a bunch of kits. I will say that of all I played with a bunch of kits in a few of the different classes, but simply by giving painkillers to most of the classes, removing grenades from a lot, not enough.
Not nearly
in fact,
enough.
I've been flashbanged 10x more than I died to a grenade. I died to maybe 2 grenades. I got flashbanged like
They just gave
debilitatingly
every
for
kid
15 times.
They just gave every kid with a frag grenade a flashbang grenade, and then left 20% of the kits with frag grenades.
Which it was a step in the right direction, just not far enough. Fuck, what was I saying?
You were talking about the kits and how like.
Oh yeah, but I will say by doing the painkillers, and by changing out most of the red dots, I feel as though all of the kits are, I don't want to say good.
No.
They're infinitely better than they were.
Sure.
In that, like, every kit was garbage, but I will say that none of the kits inherently by themselves felt bad. They feel bad because, yeah.
Okay.
I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they like went from like all
like the SKS with the US ammo,
yeah,
and the dot. It feels better than what it was before, which was iron sights.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it had slightly better ammo.
Yeah.
Just having a dot on it.
You're right. You're right.
1,000 times,
but
at least for me. So they made.
Yeah.
I'd have a better chance of hitting a headshot with my US ammo on the guy peeking out across bowl.
Yeah.
Than I do killing a guy up close with PS ammo with iron sight SKS, who is just going to jiggle peek me from a week ago because he's playing from like Russia or whatever.
Yeah. No, you're right. The thing is that it almost makes me more mad that they're not better, because it's like they all went from F minuses to D minuses. It's like you had too much. Why couldn't we bring them up to C's? Like, why couldn't we make a better? Because all the red dots that they got changed,
they're as good as all the tier 2s.
Yeah, well, but that's what I'm saying. But that herein,
and then they got to make the tier 3s
herein
better.
Lies the problem. Herein lies the problem. What does better mean? Better doesn't mean better ammo, higher capacity mags, better armor. Like, but that's what I'm saying is that like judging them as tier 1 kits, they're aids. So you could make, what I'm saying is you could make better tier 1 kits. You know what I mean? Like, so it's all the red dots got changed from red dots everybody hates and nobody uses to red dots everybody hates and nobody uses. Some kits got red dots, which is nice.
That no one uses and everybody's just kind of met about it.
I don't know. I hate all the ones I've used today.
Well, it depends.
Well, true. The SKS kit is good because the MRS isn't that bad of a red dot. Yeah.
You know, but like I would even the PKO6 is better than whatever
dovetail mounted one that covers your all
screen. The dovetail shit just feels weird. So there are a few things that are better. Now, I didn't use all of them.
You're right.
The ones I used were less bad than the ones I was frustrated using that I was stuck on at the beginning of last wipe. Yeah. And so many of the other kits I died to, I'm like, that kit looked cool. I want to use that.
Yeah.
The 545 AK, we used to have iron sights. Yeah. Now it's got a hollow. It's like, holy shit. That was a lot of fun to use. Even when it had iron sights, it was still challenging when you were facing people with better gear. Yeah. But now it's like, I feel like they made the things.
Yeah.
They made them less aids to use, but the game still, like, combat still feels bad for a lot of other reasons.
I see what you mean. And I probably, honestly, if I'm honest with myself, I'm probably just frustrated because I wanted it to be better and I'm taking it out on that thing. You're probably right. You played a lot more of the kits and played with them more times and even got an alt account. So then had to go to those early kits and play through them again. So I absolutely trust your judgment on that. All I know is that
it's also subjective.
All I know is that every kit I played, there was something about it where I was like, what the hell? Like, if you're going to give me 3 pen ammo, can I have 30 round mags? 20 round mags in an M4 with the worst ammo in the game? Like, come on, please. You know what I mean? Or like, there's just something about it. And then the other thing is that the other main criticism that's still levied today is that it's like they progressed them backwards. Like, so the shotgun one is a great example. The flechette kit is in every conceivable metric better than the kit underneath it and the kit underneath that in every way.
Ammo is so much more meaningful than fire rate.
Ammo and helmet, because like I said, you get a tier 3 helmet and a tier 3 visor on the free kit. On the second kit, you get a tier 3 helmet and a tier 2 visor. On the third kit, you get no helmet, no visor. The armor gets worse as you go down. It's crazy. In every conceivable way, it gets worse as you go down. I was looking at the marksman tree, and I was like, yo, why don't you, I was like, nice guy, why are you using that RFB? Like, why don't you use the SKS? And he was like, because it had a Elcan on it. And the Elcan the Elcan feels really good this wipe. And he's using that like weird pig snout scope. And I was like, why aren't you doing that? And he was like, oh, it's 1 10-round mag and loose ammo. And I was like, okay, yep, I would never use that kit. Imagine reloading an SKS in an arena match. It would take you longer to reload
reloading it with a magazine is still too long for an arena match.
Yeah, but imagine not. Like,
it would be, it's worse.
If you're like, bah, 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 and you go to reload and you're like, and as soon as he said that, I was like, you're right. I'd never use that kit. I'd never use that kit in this game. Like, why can't, and that's the kit after the RFB. That's the kit that costs more money. Why can't that kit get 20s with reloads? Like, it's so that's the other criticism that we had last wipe, is that sometimes the trees made no sense. Like, Butcher was, I remember this was a big thing. Butcher was easier to get to as far as XP than the other SA58 kit, and the other SA58 kit was worse in every way.
Yeah.
And so there's like some of that too. So it's just.
So here's the thing. Something to consider. The reason why you had fun with the shotgun kit was not because it was inherently good. It was because it was, by comparison, drastically better in some ways.
Yeah.
Like the bolt, the semi, like the pump action, it's just like, that's a massive nerf compared to a full auto gun with a 20 or 30 round mag.
Yeah.
So, but they overcompensate in a way that made it. So imagine if everyone else had the same armor.
Yes.
And like, so Flechette with a shotgun will still one tap, but my PST Vityaz, it's not going to be one tapping.
Exactly.
Anybody is, if you've got level 2 or 3, whatever.
Yeah.
So, but you would one tap less, which means you would die more and be having less fun. There's a point at which it would, like, the moment they were balanced, you wouldn't use the shotgun.
For sure.
Because it only feels good because it wins, not because it feels good.
For sure.
And I will say the other kits feel good, but you lose more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like confident, look at a guy, aim, and I die, and it's like,
and I'll agree with that.
Video game, I win that fight.
Yeah, and I'll agree with that. Yeah, it's that, like, some of the kits had things I would critique about them, but they like felt good. Like the new recoil feels really good.
I didn't see any kits that were like a half-broken dumpster fueled thing without a stock or a dust cover or whatever.
Yeah,
they were all like, it was a gun that might have had ammo you didn't like or whatever, but it was like, it had a stock and a dust cover and a dot on it.
Yeah.
Some of them were iron sights, but...
Yeah. But none of them were like the bad iron sights. None of them were like the STM iron sights. It was like AK iron sights, which is perfectly serviceable. You know what I mean? For a tier 1 kit.
The tier 1 kits, like the G36 kit that people were using today, was better than like the tier 5 kit from last, where you had the integrated...
Oh, yeah.
And that was like, it took me like 50 hours to unlock that, and it took me 60 hours to unlock the next thing.
Yeah.
And it was not as good as the tier 1 G36 that people were running today.
Yeah.
Because it just had a hollow sight.
Yep.
Now, I know we have something to get to in a bit. I'm wondering if now would be the time to, it's not going to be long, but my proposed solution to the progression aids.
Tell me, please.
So there's a few problems. They don't want everybody running the same kit.
Yep.
Let's just say that's a problem that I want to solve because they want to solve it, not necessarily. I'll just say, okay, that's a goal.
Okay.
Another goal is we want everybody to have unlocked like tier 2 stuff before you play tier 2 stuff.
Okay.
So that everybody on a team, they all have gotten X far, right?
Yeah.
There's some amount of matched progression.
Yeah.
And That might be the two requirements.
Okay. Yeah.
So solving those two things, like we said, their solution was you have to unlock 5 to get around the problem of you need 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
And my solution was just give everybody 5, like 1 tier 2 default kit in every tree. And as soon as you unlock a tier 2 kit,
that's
boom,
5.
tier 2 is unlocked.
Yeah.
That's it. So you just unlock 1 now, and now you can use it. And worst case scenario, if you join a game and you're a solo player, you're like, bam, now I can play tier 2. You go to choose it and someone else selects it. Well, I guess I'll take a look at the other default ones from the 4 other trees or the 5 other trees, and there will be one. There'll be one that
is at least okay. Yeah.
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 Like, why is that not just like it solves their bullshit problem that they created themselves? While also making it so that you have to progress to get to tier 2.
That's the easiest, best solution. 100%. That's great because it could be done tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like it, and then because that wouldn't force you to play tier 2 rounds if you didn't want to, because there's still a system, right, where if you want to queue into tier 1 rounds, you can. You're just then stuck on tier 1 kits. So if you unlocked a tier 2 kit but your friends weren't there yet, or you were like, I'm still getting the hang of it, I'm still learning the maps, it doesn't force you into the higher matchmaking. You can still play, but it allows you to. It doesn't force you to wait if you do want to get up to that matchmaking. Yeah.
And like right now we're running into the problem of like a problem that existed before was it was ARP related, which they didn't change anything related to ARP.
No.
Still have every single problem that existed before still exists.
Yeah.
We're going to have people 9,000 ARP and people 1,000 ARP that are not much further in skill than a global elite and a fucking silver 1.
Yeah.
But that problem was you were put in a matchmaking queue that was such a tiny thing that it was so hard to find matchmaking that you would sit there forever. They improved that in one way by saying you need to choose at least 4 maps. You can't just queue 1 map.
Yeah.
And that's like good and bad in that like you can't just practice the one you want and play the one you want only. I don't like that necessarily, but I like waiting forever in a fucking queue way less.
Yeah.
Than that. So whatever, I'll take it. So that should make matchmaking much faster. But then now it's going to take fucking 200 hours for people to unlock tier 2. So even if you go through the headache of unlocking tier 2,
queues are going to be insane.
You're going to wait a calendar year before there's another 9 human beings in your region on the maps you selected queuing up right now.
Literally, somebody said that earlier in chat. They were like super excited, like just unlocked tier 2 hype. Queue times are a light year. Like,
because he's the only. There's him and 2 other people.
Exactly. And what blows my mind, and we were talking about this earlier, is they locked. You couldn't play tier 2 matches yesterday, and it was listed in the patch notes as a reason they locked tier 2 because they wanted to allow enough players to get access to tier 2 so that queues weren't insane.
And we played more than people have full-time jobs and didn't even make it halfway there.
They unlocked it 24 hours later. We do this for a living, and we weren't halfway to tier 2. So it was a nothing burger. No one in the world, like, you would have had to get on the minute the wipe started and not stopped playing until they unlocked tier 2 to unlock tier 2. And the point that they had it locked down was to get enough people. I was like, I'm not mad at them. It didn't change. It's not like the other way where they kept it locked too long and we were all sitting there waiting. But it was just like, it was such a, like, you understood the problem. Like, you understand that when only 5 people are in this queue, that's annoying. And you acknowledge that. But then you did this. It was just like a completely meaningless thing.
they never did the simple arithmetic of going 15 plus 25 plus 50 plus 75, whatever. Okay, that's 250,000 XP. If you win on average around 7, you fucking 250,000 divided by 7 is 250 divided by 7 is 35.
Yeah.
35 to unlock one tier 2 kit. So it's 35 times 5. You have to play 175 games
to get to
something
tier 2.
like that to get to tier 2. 175 games times what? 7 minutes a game, 5 minutes a game.
Yeah, what's 7? I mean, if you add the queue in there, it's at least 10 to 12
let's
minutes.
say 7 minutes a game divided by 60. So 20 hours straight gameplay. And that's queue and game, not any time spent in menu waiting for friends, restarting the game from the launcher 900 times because the queue's broken. That you have to 20 hours of just gameplay.
Yeah.
To get to tier 2.
And that's mad.
And they thought that people were going to get there in 2 days.
And that's mad conservative because you said it was, what, 130 games?
And that's assuming that you perform well and win like 70% of your games.
We've played 16 hours, and we've played 14 hours, and I think I don't have 40 games played. So to say 20 hours for 130, that's unbelievably conservative. Like,
but
so
again,
it just,
these numbers are just it's
to illustrate
to get you in the
100% how crazy it is. So I don't know.
Ultimately, so many of the changes that we saw, they made a bunch of good changes, and then it seems like so many of the changes we saw are simply a response to all these streamers have no life and they all play Butcher.
Yeah.
So we're going to completely make it impossible to progress past a certain point so that you're all fucking equal and you can't all play the same thing.
Yeah.
Tarkov communism. I want the free market.
Yeah.
We want free market. We want the Nikita, meet Adam Smith.
Yeah. The freaking Tarkov communism. Okay. We need to take a quick break from screaming about this game to tell you about the sponsor of this episode, and that is BetterHelp.
Listen, everybody's got my Penn and Teller have this saying, everybody's got a gree. Everybody has their own things that they get fired up about.
Everybody
emotionally.
has their Tarkov arena.
For me, it's Escape from Tarkov.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much I talk to my therapist.
Yeah, dude.
Literally about everything involved with content creation around Escape from Tarkov, and my therapist I found through BetterHelp.
Yeah. So thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. BetterHelp is an online platform where you can get linked up with a therapist or counselor, and it is awesome. We have talked at length before about the importance of it and the importance of it in our life, having somebody to talk to, whether that's something light, like you just don't feel satisfied, you don't feel like you're moving anywhere, you don't feel like you have goals, all the way up to if there are serious things in your life, really traumatic things. It's not, and anywhere in between, you can benefit from having somebody to talk to, having somebody to just speak some of these things into existence. It is pretty transformative, or at least it has been for me, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, again, whether it's issues in your personal life or your professional life, or in your video game life, or whether it's you really want to get over procrastinating, or you have maybe issues with your parents or your significant other, or maybe you're just feeling down and you don't know why. Having somebody to talk to is one of the most important and valuable resources every single person can have. Screw any concepts of masculinity or whatever. Just being able to have someone to talk to, there's no shame in that, or having to talk to somebody about anything.
And you know what's funny is that feels to me like the most masculine thing. I mean, as a male, because like you think about the culture of like workout culture. It's all invest in yourself. Like it's all put the time in, get the, like put the work in, you get the workout, put the this in to get the workout. Like that's how it is also with your mental. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's the best thing you can do is put the work in and have somebody there to talk to. You know what I mean? It's like a personal trainer for your freaking mental health. You know what I mean? Think about relationships. My relationship with my wife. No, it would be such a cold take to be like, yeah, we have to talk a lot and we have to communicate a lot and we have to tell each other what we're thinking to work on that relationship. That's not like oh my God, you guys talk to each other? Like that's assumed, right? So it's like that, to have somebody that you can talk to about yourself and things you're struggling with. Like it's the best thing. So, and BetterHelp really does make it easy. It's awesome because it's an online platform where you can, find somebody that fits you really nice. You can skip having to call, make appointments, and cancel if you didn't really like that person or whatever. It's super easy to just be like, I want to work. I mean, that was your experience too. You wanted a different person after your first session, so you got a different person. Then you found someone.
It took I was going to say 5 minutes. I think it took less than 2 minutes.
Yeah. So that's awesome. There's all sorts of ways to communicate and keep notes and track what you want to talk about. So BetterHelp really does make it easy. You can become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit betterhelp.com/pogcast and get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/pogcast to get 10% off your first month. Thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode.
I have some bullet points of some random little.
Yeah, I've got a few feedback as well. Yeah.
So I've had, it seems like it might just be a me issue, but my computer is probably better than average, even though it's not as good as the average streamer I play with at this point. It's got, I think, a fucking 3080, right? Like,
pleb.
It's just a few years old. I've had major performance issues where I'm getting down to like 30, 40 frames.
Yeah, you were mentioning that.
I had a couple of major stutters. Like there's something really going on. I'm not sure. And I never had performance issues at all with Arena. It was always usually around 60, which is just like fine.
Yeah.
The sound somehow, even though pretty much all of my kits, most of the ones I've used have headphones, and the headphones I like M32s, the sound seems worse on some of the maps that you wouldn't even expect it. Like
it's
Sawmill.
Worse. Yeah.
Somehow, like multiple cases where I was shooting at somebody, okay? I was shooting at somebody, trying to hit my shots. I don't know how many times I hit him, whatever, but I die, okay? From like 40 meters away.
Yeah.
And I see in the kill cam, one of their teammates ran up behind me, put the gun to the back of my head, and the other guy stole the kill. And I didn't hear anything.
Dude,
there's no occlusion zones. It's 100 feet of grass.
It's crazy.
And I have headphones and I hear nothing. And there's something that has been driving me insane. The stereo field of gunfire is, I want to say mono. It's not exactly mono, but it's like if anybody's ever done music production, there's like a knob that is like width, where you turn the width up and it just makes everything sound more wider, left, right, bigger, whatever. And the narrower you get it, the more it becomes close to mono. I have the one thing about Tarkov, the one saving grace, right, was always that if something's directly to your right, it's like all in your right ear and not in your left ear at all.
Yep.
If something's behind you and in front of you, binaural audio isn't doing anything for me anymore.
Yeah.
It's not worse than without it. You probably still want it on because maybe they'll fix it at some point.
Yeah.
But you used to at least be able to do this to like localize. I would be running, okay, and I would hear bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
And I would die and I'd be like, I do not know where that came from.
Yep.
Normally you would at least hear like a clear, and I look at the mixer and I brought it into Premiere Pro and someone was literally 90 degrees to my right.
No.
I'm running and they're going bang, bang, bang. And the audio was like 2% louder in the right ear. And you can hear it if you're listening and you're like, okay, yeah, sure. It is balanced a little to the right. It used to be literally 90%. So it's like I'm like doing this. I die and I don't know where I died from when they were shooting 10 bullets semi-auto.
Yeah.
That never happened in Tarkov history.
Yeah. Dude, you are absolutely right. It is it's worse than in Tarkov, and it's worse than Arena before, and I don't know what happened because there's some fascinating things. Like you said, that is a clear issue, and I felt that all day. And because it's 10 people all fighting, like isolating the guy that's shooting you, if it's all mono and ham and the enemy is fighting in front to your front left and behind me nice guy's fighting somebody and someone's shooting at me, that 2% goes away. Even if you're listening for it, you can't. So it's just like so that's like a weird new bug. That's weird. The occlusion is so, dude, because I had a clip. I was on Bowl, which is the one with the helicopter in the middle, and I was going to the front. And so I go in the helicopter and then I'm looking out the other door and I see a guy run past the door real quick. So I'm assuming he's going to jiggle it, right? Like, so I'm holding and I'm kind of moving around and then I hear him VoIP and he's like, I'm gonna get you or something like that. And then I die. And I was like, what? The kill cam, he full sprinted around the back of the helicopter, came in behind me, put his gun, crouched, stood up, VoIPed, I'm gonna kill you, and then shot me in the back of the head. I couldn't believe it, dude. There was no audio. There was no audio. And the amount of times that's happened today, the amount of times I've walked up to people where they're like, they have their back to me and they're like swiveling and I had just full sprinted up to them and I just one tap them in the back. Like, that doesn't feel good. How is it worse? Also, I almost just threw up, by the way, when you said that. I legitimately was going to call you out and be like, you're a liar. Because you said that most of the kits you've been running today have had headphones. I have the game up, dude. You've been running Scout. And the reason I know that is because Scout's the only tree with headphones. I have the game up. Marksman, on both sides of the tree, tier 1, 2, and 3, no headphones. On Scout, the left side of the tree, tier 1, 2, and 3 have headphones. On the right side of the tree, tier 1, 2, and 3 don't have headphones. CQB, both sides, 3 down, no headphones. Assault, both sides, 3 down, no headphones. I didn't wear headphones one time today.
Yeah. So
and it's AIDS.
I agree. It's AIDS with headphones too.
Yeah.
Now the reason why I said that though is go down to the bottom tier 3 of all the classes.
Yeah.
And they all have so many more headphones. Before,
yes,
there were a ton of classes that didn't have headphones in a few of the trees where it was like, if you want to do, I don't know if it was Assault particularly, I'm just going to say this. It was like, if you want to play Assault, you have one kit that has headphones and everything else are all the guns you want to play with, but none of them have headphones.
Yeah.
There's still a lot that don't have headphones.
No, but in tier 3, very few of them don't. Only the ones with like Vulcans and Altons don't.
Yep.
In tier 3.
So they, which is good. You should either have a big bulky helmet or give me fucking headphones and no helmet.
Yeah.
That to me is like, a fair trade-off.
Why can't we have them forever? They once again, on day 1 of the wipe, at level 1 traders, I can buy headphones. I'm never not bringing headphones into a raid in Tarkov. I am never forced to not wear headphones. And in Arena, dude, I picked CQB once again. Sucks to suck. Let me count them.
That was the reason why I didn't. I remember when you said that. Remember how I told you? I'm like, bro, I was going to point that out, but like someone cut in and I didn't get a chance.
Let me count them.
If you look at
1 okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 kits in tier 1. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kits in tier 2. Of those 16 kits, 2 of them have headphones. Okay, so, and the 2 that have headphones are on the tree I don't want to go down because it's the shotgun tree. So, on tier 3 in CQB, they all have headphones except for like the Alton and the Wrist T guy. but now I'm going to have to unlock 5 tier 3 kits before I can play tier 3. I have
Does it say 0 out of 5?
Yes.
Or I thought it said 7. Okay.
I have 100 hours of gameplay before I can wear headphones. Like, what?
Yeah, and that's the thing that I don't know that we might not have emphasized the worst part of the progression. We keep talking about how you have to unlock 5 before you can use tier 2. Now, let me make it clear, because people might not have made the logical jump, if they're just like passively listening while they mow the lawn or whatever. That means when we talked about the 20 hours it's going to take to
get tier 2,
you are stuck using your tier 1, the one tier 1 kit, basically.
Yeah.
At least for me, like I don't want to use a bunch of the other ones, whatever. So you're using 1 or 2 tier 1 kits that entire time.
Until that 20, 30 hours, until you get locked all tier 5s. And the XP scales.
Yeah, so and it used to be bad, maybe worse, maybe better, bad, maybe worse, maybe better, but at least you were changing while you were progressing to the thing you wanted. Now it's the one thing, you're stuck on the one thing.
Yeah. And so you need to unlock 5 tier 3 kits to get tier 3. So you have to put in the 30-ish hours to get access to tier 2, to use one of your tier 2 kits. Well, now I have to go down one tier 2 kit, it takes 100,000 XP. Down another one, it takes another 100,000 XP. And then I have to do that to 5 tier 3s, which is going to be presumably 250. So if it takes 35 hours to be able to play one tier 2 kit, it's going to take 75 to 100 additional hours to get tier 3s. Like, because the XP is scaling up, it's going to take 4 or 5 times longer to get access to for me to get access to one headphone. I'm 65% of the way to even having access to tier 2 kits. And I'm 3% of the way to getting access to headphones. In a competitive, ranked experience where the audio is garbage. And it's crazy because the footsteps, when you don't have headphones, the footsteps are so quiet. And it's like, what do you even mean? Because this is a game that is, by definition, about team play and comms. You have to be communicating with your teammate. It doesn't have to be jokes and lamau and people raging. Even with the tightest, most professional comms, you need to be talking. If anyone is talking, I can't hear footsteps when they play. Sometimes,
if any gun is shooting, you also can't.
Sometimes when no one's talking, footsteps don't happen because the game audio is so bad. But if they do happen and anyone is talking, I can't hear them because I don't have headphones. Because they say, well, we have headphones in the game. We have to make them useful, so we have to make the audio better. So we have to make the audio worse without headphones. I'm stuck with no headphones for 100 hours of gameplay. I can't hear. But I need to be able to calm to my team.
Keep in mind that you still can't hear 85% of the time with headphones because if the bug is still in the game where when there's gunfire, they compress everything. Everything gets turned down. So even if you hear very faint footsteps, one, you're like not sure what fucking direction they're in.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's an enemy or a teammate. And then the moment someone starts shooting, which it's arena, the matches are 40 seconds long. Everyone's always shooting all the time.
Yeah.
The footsteps go from barely audible to not audible at all.
Yeah.
So imagine that you're heavy breathing with a blacked out stomach. You're also metting. Your teammate is giving you 27 more callouts than they need to because you need to communicate in order to play the game. And then someone's firing their gun, which inherently makes it harder to hear the footsteps that get turned down.
Dude. And I didn't even, I thought about it, but I'm saying I didn't even bring up until you brought it up, the concept of like, if you get shot once, you're like, like if your stomach gets blacked in a competitive game.
And the announcer and the crowd.
And the announcer and your comms. Dude, yesterday I was getting a headache, bro. I literally we went to play a Tarkov raid and I was like, Like, it was so quiet in the Tarkov raid. You would hear shots in the distance, literally your own breathing, your own out of stamina, your teammate's broken leg, your other teammate's broken stomach, the audience, comms, Discord. If you're in with a random and he's talking to you, you still get the radio transmitter filter on his voice. And it's like, I can't hear the game, dude.
You know how my GoXLR software crashed? So I had no ability to change any audio levels. This is how I know that there's also another issue with the game somehow, because I couldn't physically change the audio levels. I couldn't mute. I couldn't turn things down. Randomly, I would die, and then I would be like spectating, and it was like, what the fuck? Like someone jacked the volume up, and then the next raid, the next round, everything would be like kind of quiet. Or I would disconnect and like my game would crash and I'd restart my game and it would come back and be like, what the fuck? Like, why is it so painfully loud? And then it's like, but then as soon as the round starts, I'm like, I need to turn the sound up. I can't hear anything. Yep. And I have M32s.
The amount of times it's crazy. It's crazy. I didn't think about that, but like a prerequisite to play this video game is you need a GoXLR. It's like, how ridiculous. Like the amount of times I was like, turn the game down, turn the game up, turn the game down, turn the game up, turn the game down.
The moment I died, I muted the game.
Yeah.
So that I could exist.
Yeah, literally exist. Yeah. And like and then the notification of when you get a match. You have to close the game, open the launcher, go to settings, and turn that dude.
That sound setting is in the launcher, not in the game, by the way.
Dude. I just don't
Bro, just play the game and stop complaining.
I just don't understand, bro. It just brings me so much pain. So, like...
Bro, don't worry, though. You've got the 30 hours of not having fun, forced to use a kit before you have a chance to not be able to play with your friends anymore because they started 2 days later, all those things, okay? The moment and you've got 50 XP until you unlock your next kit, and you drop a banger of a game, dude. You go fucking 15-1. You just carried your team, bang, 17,000. Oh my god, I'm a god. Look at all the XP I got. It applies the 50 XP to the kit that you have to unlock, and then with the rest of your XP says, eat shit, and throws it in the dumpster. It does not apply it to the next one down.
Yeah, for the viewers,
it's zero.
The reason he knows that is because it happened to me. Earlier in the day, he was like...
I called it out earlier.
Yeah, earlier in the day, he was like...
to me.
He was like, I don't think any of my extra XP happened. And went over.
Because when I unlocked a new thing and I saw it was 0 out of like 70,000, and I'm like... There's no way the XP was exactly right.
And then later that day, I literally in a kit that takes 80,000 XP to unlock, I had 79,951 XP. I needed 49. Dropped a banger of a round, got 11,000 XP, and 10,951 of that XP got deleted because I only needed 49. Like.
That could, if that was an intentional, if that was intentional game design and not just an oversight that they will fix, that has to violate the Geneva Convention.
Dude.
That's cruel and unusual
That is
punishment.
The definition of wasted time. Like,
You got 30 hours? Bitch, if you all this gameplay, if you happen to have done it on like the leap year, we're like, just kidding, that time doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
We're going to rewind the clock, motherfucker.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, like...
Don't worry, fear not. They'll solve it with a couple of double XP weekends that 80% of the player base won't play because they'll be sick of the game anyway.
100%.
That's how they'll solve the problem.
So here's the deal. As we come to a close of talking about Arena, it's like you might not, and you would be understand. And it would be understandable if you didn't know this. You might not know this, but I want this game to be good so bad. I truly don't even care if it's good as a competitive game. I want it to be good. but I don't need it to be a perfect competitive game to enjoy it. I want this game to be good. It has so much potential. But, dude, for reasons we listed and so many more, it's crazy because it took me literally 10 days of grinding Arena last time when it launched for me to realize I don't think I want to play this a lot. Like, I had so much fun those first few days. It took me an hour after the wipe to be like, yeah, when drops are over, I'm done. Like, and that made me legitimately sad because I want this game to be fun because 5-mans with the boys are so much fun because I've never laughed harder, some of the memes and stuff like that. But all of that, all of the best parts of Arena are in spite of the game. It just kicks you in the dick non-stop. And it's so frustrating. And you just have to like make it fun. And that's like, like when Helldivers 2 exists, when we could just 4-man that and just have nonstop. It's so I want this game to be good. I want it to be fun. I don't think it's like unfixable, but if this is a major update and all of the W's that I can think of are like small W's or like W's that we took a 10% step in the right direction and this was like a huge update, I just like don't have a lot of confidence. And like,
how many times, bro, take a step back for a second. How many fucking times have we had this conversation where it's like, listen, why we were going to be critical and, but like they made these changes and, like,
yeah,
it's never gonna change.
Oh no, I'm not saying, but that's what I'm saying is that I believe that with this, like an hour in, I was like, I don't want to, because like I'm in too deep in Tarkov, right? Like I have to keep playing it. My literal whole career is staked on Tarkov. An hour in, I was like, I'm not going to do that with this game. I can't. Like it's not worth it. I don't trust that it's gonna. And here's the thing, is that the real issues. You know what's crazy is that this game, with every single thing we just talked about, with terrible, shotgun balance, with like all of the bullcrap, with the preset systems, with how long it would take to get to tier 2, tier 3, Arena today, with better sound and better netcode, I literally like that's the most depressing thing is that, and I have this in the notes, it's like. Arena is just combat. It's just you distill Tarkov and the things you love about Tarkov down to just its finest, most refined form. And it's awful because you just can't trust what you can see. You can't trust what you hear. And both of those things, because you hear me say that all the time on the podcast, are markedly worse in Arena. The audio is worse in Arena for sure. And the addition of the kill cam makes desync worse because you don't see, we talked about this before, you see something as the player, that other player sees something else, and the kill cam is a third thing where aim punch, flashlights, and bullet damage, blurry vision, painkiller effect, none of those things apply to the person you're watching the kill cam to. So you do not get an accurate representation of what happened when you watch the kill cam. Like you get a general idea of like where that guy was when he shot me, right? But like if you were shooting him, you don't see his aim punch. You just see him like perfectly on you.
And you don't hear what he hears, which makes them sound, which makes it doesn't get rid of suspicion. It literally creates suspicion out of nowhere.
Yeah.
If the number of times I've died, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And then I see a kill cam and I'm like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
Where you don't make any noise.
Yeah.
And then someone just like pre-aims towards a thing and you just like lean out when like what?
Yeah.
But there might be an explanation, but there might not be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been sus if you hadn't shown me this bullshit.
I had such an egregious, like I really was close to ending the stream after. I had such an egregious, I was standing around a corner, and I saw muzzle flashes around the corner, and my first thought was I should push this guy, and I died. And then I watched the kill cam back, and he was, not only did he have my entire body in view when he took his first shot, but it took him 3 shots to kill me, and he was strafing farther into my view with each shot. So by the time he shot his first shot, he could see my whole character and was just strafing into my vision. And I died.
Full wide swing.
Yes.
10 feet from the fucking corner.
And I was dead before I saw just all I could see was muzzle flash. He never, not a single pixel of his elbow entered my screen at no point. And so it's literally, as much as we tear apart the patch notes and the changes, I could play this game with this weird tier system, with the unbalanced kits, with the shitty red dots. If it worked, that's what's the most depressing thing about this, is that it's a shit cake with shit icing. This wipe, the reason it's so fun in Tarkov is because it's a shit cake with funfetti, vanilla, cream cheese frosting. And at least we get something that's fun. But
they added caramel on top this time.
It's just all, it's shit cake, shit icing, sprinkles on top. That's what we got. And it's and that's why it's so sad, because because you think about grind does not equal bad, right? Like MMOs are grind the game. That's the whole point. But you have to be able to, on some level, enjoy what you're doing. On some level. And just the base, I just can't explain. It would be less frustrating if every time somebody peeked me, my game alt F4'd. It would be less frustrating to not have to see it. I can't express how disheartening it is to just game after game, round after round, just see the core of this thing fall apart. You don't hear anyone. You don't see anyone. It's all desync. 50% of your kills don't even feel good. I thought I missed.
So many of my kills were me, lucky. I missed and I somehow headshotted them. And then the times where I'm ready, prepared, and my aim is good and I die. It's I literally was joking. I'm I have to stop aiming.
Yeah.
Because those are the only time I get a headshot.
In a competitive game that's literally all about holding lanes, you can't hold. You can't hold lanes. The amount of times I just die first shot, and people are sus. You watch the kill cam back, and it's he was making tea around the corner, just waiting for me, and then just shoots me. It's just, you can't hold. It just becomes, somebody came in and was nobody's playing this like a comp shooter. Everyone's just W keying around. It's that's literally the most competitive way to play. You have to abuse the 7 full real human seconds of delay that you're going to get when you swing this guy. It's insane. So for all of the garbage, for all the criticisms I gave of the systems that they made, that's not the problem. I could play that game. I do play a game with terrible systems, but it's I don't understand how it's worse. The netcode is worse. The hit reg is worse. The audio is worse than Tarkov. 2 months after release. Oh, it makes me so sad. I want this game to be so good. I know BSG staked so much on this. I don't hate BSG. I loved every single human being that I interacted with at TwitchCon. I want them to succeed in this, but it's not fun. It makes me so sad to say that.
Yeah. So, preach. Amen. I have something that I think is a hot take. I actually I have not seen a single hit reg issue since minute 1 of playing Tarkov Arena when it first came out. Not once. I never hit people and it doesn't register. I think I should hit people and whenever I look at the replay, 100% of the time, my bullets that should have been headshots were blocked by the arms, or they were literally going past the head and the recoil and the shitty movement and the netcode prevented it.
Yeah.
But it's never been that you hit someone in the forehead and they look at you with a bullet hole and then you die. It's never once been that. That's how Tarkov was many, many, many times over the years. But I have to say, and I will change my mind the moment anyone shows me any clips. Yeah. All the clips I see, like with all the clips I see are not hit reg. It's you have bad ammo and you hit them 11 times.
Watch
and
this clip. Genuinely tell me. I need to know if I think that's I think this is an explainable clip, but it made me want to uninstall the game.
Dude,
I just said it in the Discord. Yeah.
Should I pull it up?
Yeah, pull it up.
Podcast?
Pull it up because I want the people to see you live correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I mean?
And listen, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Saying
you haven't seen it.
It doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like performance related. Maybe it's like, like there's a million things that could explain why I haven't seen it, including I'm delusional or something.
Yeah. And I would.
God, it's a shotgun. Damn it! It's a shotgun. That makes it so much more complicated.
Flechette. No ear protection.
Yeah, but what class is that helmet? I don't know what helmet
3.
That is. And what's
31
the pen?
31 pen, class 3 helmet, 8 pellets, no ear protection.
How much damage do the pellets do?
25 per. 8 pellets.
So it's a fair. Do you think it's fair that you would have to probably pen 3 pellets, 3 needles to kill to a headshot? That's what I would say.
Not if there's no ear protection and I hit him in the ears. It would take 2.
Okay, so I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Let's say it hit. This is just
let's say it hit the helmet.
Understanding. Let's say it hit the helmet. It's a class 3 helmet. It's 30 pen and it does 25 damage. Let's just say there's some damage reduction that happens.
Yeah.
Let's say it reduces it from 25 to 22. 44 damage ain't going to kill you, right? So now you need 3.
44 damage to the head would kill you.
Was it 45?
35.
Oh, 35. Okay, so then maybe 2.
He said, looked like your aim was way too high. Freeze frame it on the shot. Yeah, it's like there's sparks flying off his helmet. My aim wasn't that high.
No, I was going to say, if I had to guess, you probably hit with most of the...
Too high for the ears? You can see his contacts!
Listen to me!
I'm sorry. I'm just arguing with this guy in chat.
Fuck the guy in chat and fuck everybody else who...
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to explain...
Okay. I'm taking off chat.
What I know about the bullshit fucking systems.
I'm turning off chat.
The bullshit systems. What makes more... Okay, when you're talking about hit reg...
Yeah.
What you are saying is that you hit them.
Yeah, and the server...
the game said you didn't hit them.
Yeah.
It's more likely to me...
Yeah.
...that a pellet went in his ear.
Yeah.
One pellet ricocheted off his helmet.
Yeah.
One pellet went just slightly above the helmet.
Yeah.
And the rest of them hit him in his elbow and his shoulder, completely blocked by your vision.
Yeah.
You can't see?
Yeah.
Look,
and you're probably right.
You're elbow's right here. Again, I'm not trying to justify.
No.
I'm not trying to justify.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
Look, you can see how much of his fucking arm is in the way, blocking his ear.
For sure.
And given the trajectory of whatever.
For sure.
Like, look at that.
For sure. Yeah.
And then what did it say? What did it say in the kill cam? Did it say 0 hits?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
I can find it in the VOD.
There's got to be
a Twitch clip.
There's got to be a view full clip, right?
Oh, yeah. There normally is, right?
Watch full video. I always make the mistake of like rage skipping the kill cam.
Look at my face, dude. I do as well normally. 28 HP. If they were hitting him in the arms, Veritas, where did... What the f?
Huh.
Eight pellets? There's 8 pellets and one.
Oh shit! I didn't mean to do that. All right.
And here's the thing.
My response goes from I've never seen it to I've seen one that is a very good candidate for maybe hit reg.
Yeah.
With other potential explanations.
Yeah.
Because again, I have seen, how many kill cams have I seen?
For sure.
800 billion. And it never once have I seen any, people never say, I hit them and it didn't say, we have a lot of question marks where people fill in the blanks. Like when Velian was like, look at this clip. He did that twice. Yeah. One of them was he was peppering.
Yeah.
He hit arm, left, right, left, right. They were all misses. Actually, wait. I can maybe pull that up.
Yeah.
Let me fucking pull that up too, because this is all demonstrating what I'm talking about. This was someone saying hit reg is fucked.
Yeah.
Whenever someone says hit reg is fucked, and here's the example, it's not my fault that the examples are always kind of not super fucking compelling when there's other alternatives.
For sure.
Now, I know it looks like I'm just like coping or something.
No.
But
it goes back to what we said. Yeah.
So
it goes back to what we said many times, which is like, if you want to be mad, we need to be mad about the right thing, right? So it's like,
look, miss.
Yeah.
Let's again one more time. That one, oh god, you can't fucking frame by frame.
You can't really see.
I don't know if it was a hit or not.
It's so hard to tell.
All of these are probably going up, probably over his head, but you can't see, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Like in every other game, your muscle memory, you flick to the person, you mouse one, and you can like account for the difference.
Yeah.
And make up for it. Tarkov, you can't. But like you can't say that like that's not when people say hit reg, it's like you walk up to someone, go bang, bang, shoot them in the head, and they turn and one tap you.
Yeah. It's
like the game is just ignoring your fucking bullets.
Yeah. And I have
maybe that happened with you in that Flechette clip was the first one. But again, and all that is it's a question mark because that's how Tarkov is.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying is I don't have any skin in the game.
Axel, yes. Send it.
I don't have any skin in the game as far as like hit reg. I as a non like as a relatively newer PC gamer, like I use that term just like interchangeably with like the game cucked me. So like before we watch this clip, I definitely don't have any skin in the game where I'm like, the specific hit regis pad, the server is no regging my shots. I just like, when I get 14 hits on somebody in the arm with War Mage, I go, the hit reg is shit. But I know enough of the intricacies where like I said, the kill cam could have been wrong. That hit count, the Flechette clip, it literally just could be a bug where that hit count was wrong. And I did 3 times as much damage to him as was displayed there. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like, I totally get that, but I'm the stand-in for like the average person that can say that clip is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. and here's what I'm thinking about: the scav leg meta thing from 6 years ago.
Yeah,
where everyone said the problem is X. Nikita said no, it's not.
Yeah,
and the problem was Y, and it took me doing dozens of hours of research.
Yeah.
Because Nikita says, I'm not going to fix X because X is wrong.
Yeah.
People were right to complain that scavs were hitting the legs, but they weren't aiming for the legs. It was a fucking trig bug or whatever the fuck it was. So saying that there are all these problems, if you say that there's 3 or 4 problems and 2 of them are not the real problems, when they look into it, Nikita's going to say, the player base is a bunch of simpleton morons and they're just bitching because they're bad. They need to get good. Tarkov is hard.
Yeah.
So, but the moment you go to Nikita and you say, here's the issue, here's the proof.
For sure.
He has demonstrated that he can he responds to that.
Yeah.
So if you hit someone and go ba 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 ba, and it says 0 hits, that's compelling.
Yeah.
When you hit with an unknown amount of pellets, I definitely think 3. Now the question is, right? Is the number wrong?
Yeah.
Was the damage calculation wrong?
Yeah.
I don't know any of those things, right? Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick and see. Okay, those first 3 shots, maybe 1 hit the elbow, but otherwise, all misses so far. Okay, that guy died. I'm surprised you killed him. I know that probably wasn't the kill. I know it's the end of clip, but still. That's the kind of kill where I'm like, what?
Oh. Shoot.
Here. You hit him once in the pinky finger. Okay. Sorry. Was it the teammate or was it the last kill?
Yeah, the teammate. I mean, that's a clean headshot. No helmet. You see the bullet hole, and I have Arena up. You're rocking M856, 64 damage. Woof.
Wait, I thought it was M8. Wasn't it 6-1? Wait, let me look.
No, I'm M856. I have the game up.
856.
Yeah. 64 damage. Woof.
Okay, so here's the question. No damage, he got 0 damage?
Yeah, because it was a teammate, so he was able to ask him, like...
No. I'm just thinking about a lot of things, because there's a lot of variables, right? When I played Axel, he had like 180 ping. So that right there was one variable that was like added a whole bunch of shit, where if it was the very end of the round, I would be like, maybe it was a fucking 150 milliseconds and then the round ended. I don't think that that's the case here. That's just one explanation. I don't know. I don't know what that was.
No, yeah.
It's something clearly fucked.
But I feel like that is a clip that at least satisfies enough to be like, I'm suspicious of the hit reg. Like, there might be some issues here. Of course, no one can ever say definitively, right? Because, yeah. And what I'm saying is I agree with you for that like in any situation, there are a multitude of answers. But I would say that clip would be enough to satisfy just saying there. Like, the hit reg might be bad. The hit reg might be scuffed.
Yeah, so something is bad there. Hit reg might be fucked. I don't know. All I can say, I'm not trying to gaslight anyone.
No.
All I can say is I never once have personally been like the hit reg was the cause.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, where are my bullets going? Every time I question myself and I look at the clip.
For sure.
I always missed or I hit the elbow arms blocking headshots, or the bullet ricocheted off the helmet and you could see it, or whatever. It's never been anything like that.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's crazy.
Now, there's also... I almost actually said this earlier, but I didn't, just because I didn't think it was a thing, and I don't think it is a thing, but I just thought about it. At the end of the rounds, I've been using the Vityaz, and the Vityaz, I don't know why. I don't think they changed anything. I'm just like, it just doesn't feel as good.
Yeah.
It was like really fucking good to use. I think maybe because it had like AP, the one I was using, whereas this one has PST and whatever. So that's a big difference. But at the end of rounds, I'd be like, bah, 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 with like the last 6 bullets, and I never killed any of our fucking teammates at the end of rounds.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if they nerfed the team damage after rounds or something. I had that thought.
Yeah.
And I'm only saying that because, like...
Yeah. No, that's funny. I was before
testing. It would be easy to test. You could test it in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Just shoot your teammate in the head afterwards and see. But
it's funny because I was before you said that I was gonna be like, that's crazy because I've been murdering Valiant and Ham after every round and I never had any issues.
I'm just literally missing my shots, and the 20-round mags in the Vityaz means that at the end of a round I only have 3 bullets left. So I go bop, bop, bop,
yeah,
and then they just turn and murk me.
Yeah. No, but yeah.
So
it's
again,
it's crazy.
Hit reg could very well be an issue.
Yeah.
I just want to make it clear. I'm not trying to gaslight.
No.
All I can base my feelings on
for sure
are my experiences, and I haven't experienced it personally. And anytime anybody has presented a clip until the last 2 clips, it's always been you kind of whiffed, and it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It was recoil or it was arms. It's like 98% of the issue.
Yeah.
Now again, we need to be careful about what we're talking about too. Let's say there was a major lag spike or ping spike or whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that hit reg. Like that would be like a netcode
for sure
related thing.
We've had those issues where like in Tarkov where you're like, why am I getting crazy packet loss? You get like 28% packet loss, your ping goes to 300 and then it fixes itself, right? Like, so I don't think anyone is saying that there's no universe where some of these crazy clips that's happened in, but
was the guy who you shot, is he a friend of yours? Can you talk to him, and or was he streaming? Because it would be really interesting to know if he heard a shot, not if he had no damage, if he heard a shot.
Interesting.
Because if he didn't hear a shot, that's evidence that it's netcode and not hit reg.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no shot, then there's no hit to register.
Yeah.
Because the packets never made it to his client and or the server. So that's something to, again, these are all like little things. I can't help but like feel like I'm like getting defensive because I feel like this is exactly how people sound when they're like trying to fucking justify everything.
Yeah.
Like they're
but that's the thing. It's like what
I'm not defending
what you're
anything.
saying. Exactly. What you're saying isn't the game is good. You guys are all wrong. You're saying we all agree the game is dog shit. We should just be sure about what we're talking about if we want feedback to be taken seriously or whatever. So it's like, I once again, I'm a stand-in for like, I see that clip, I go, that's bad hit reg. So here's like the rub, and this is not what you're saying at all, but the rub is like, in order to provide feedback, we don't have to have a network technologies master degree. You know what I mean? So it's like, we need these clips, and we also need people to sift through, like, these are the 98 out of 100. It was like, you kind of missed, man. Like, we need better clips. And then we need to present the really good clips and be like, hey, your stuff is scuffed. You know what I mean? So
I look at that, and I think the appropriate response is, what the actual fuck is this, BSG? Not fix your fucking hit reg, you clowns, because then the hit reg guy gets tasked to look at the hit reg and he goes and he can't find any bugs. And then it's like, well, I'm not listening to, why are we listening to fucking Reddit when they're wrong half the time?
Yeah.
Right? So
that's an interesting question about like, did he hear something? That'd be interesting. Anyways.
Yeah.
All of that, and I hope like if X will find the clip, that'd be sick. But all of that came from just that conversation about like the core of the game, the core experience of playing this video game is so tainted with the netcode, with the servers, with the frames sometimes, with the audio, with the just performance, like with the kill cam implementation. Like it's just so tainted that it's so hard to have a good time in spite of some of these other frustrations, like with the kits and the presets and stuff like that. And the game would be 400 times more fun if the audio was decent, not industry leading, but consistent and usable. If there's desync in every game, well, sure. But if it wasn't 4 literal business days, you know what I mean? Like it would just be so much more fun.
Bro, I was playing the puzzle MMO, okay? And just walking past a waterfall and having the stereo field. Every 3D game in the last 10 years doesn't struggle with, honestly, what Tarkov needs to do is completely 100% abandon the idea of immersive audio.
Yeah.
And get rid of all fucking occlusion.
Yeah.
Like, just give me positional audio I can hear. I don't care if there's a brick wall.
Yeah.
I don't care if there's a brick wall. Just don't occlude it. Just delete all the occlusion zones and make it so that there's simple binaural processing, which I did in Unity in 45 fucking seconds, and I've never. It was the first thing I ever did in Unity.
Yeah.
And there's many ways to do it. Just simple binaural processing on stereo audio, on the footsteps, and all the audio sources, and then delete everything else.
Yeah.
And the game will probably run better. And because we've had almost a fucking decade now of completely unimmersive audio with small smatterings of, well, that was kind of a neat sort of effect.
Yeah.
But with aids in between.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's the teammates.
Teammate perspective.
I'm not going to plug in the audio.
You can tell from the teammate perspective that his head didn't rock back once again. Here, let me pull up the audio.
But did the gunfire?
Yeah, let me pull up the audio on my end. Yep, it did.
LOL.
Yeah. That's brutal.
What the fuck, dude? Weird.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait a minute. Sorry. Oh, okay. I was gonna say didn't he only shoot once, and I heard a bunch of gunshots, but he was the other guy.
Yeah. That might be the most compelling.
much more evidence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Much more evidence. Like, if I was on a jury and had to convict the murder on Hit Reg would be walking innocent.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to put the wrong guy in jail.
Yeah.
Metaphorically speaking, right?
Yeah.
But here, now you might have a hung jury, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's
and I also wonder too. I was wondering if there was any concept of ricocheting off a skull at all, but he should have taken like 1 point of damage at least, but he didn't.
Yeah, because he would have,
like, it goes over his head.
Because even when you ricochet, you get hit, and then you get the ricochet. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man.
That's brutal.
I stand corrected. I've seen exactly one clip that looks like Hit
One
Reg.
and a half. One and a half.
Yeah, there you go.
I need that full shot one.
That.
Give me the half. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, we're going long. The only other thing that I wanted to just, like, I guess, get off my chest is just the frustration with, like, their hard on for, like, ranked. Because, like, just the game would be, we were talking about, like, even if it in its current state, imagine just, like, the infinite content farm if they had an unranked mode and they had, like, 3 rotating, like, fun game modes where it was like Tawz's only, or like Bolties with red dots only, or Shoddy's only, or like no this, no that, like, and you could maybe do that in custom games. I know in the patch notes it said that expanding custom games was in the patch notes, and I haven't tested that out. But just like, it just, like, everything comes down to, like, it's not fun because it's wasting my time on the, like, grind for the next kit or whatever, and just, like, having some place to just, like, grind kits that isn't so sweaty if you don't want it to be, like, you know what I mean? We once again, this is 24 hours after a wipe. Presumably more people are playing right now than have been playing for the past month and a half, right? Maybe not than at launch. We ran into the same teams over and over today. We barely have any ARP. Like, how is that happening? I want to get out of that. I want to get out of this freaking like ARP matchmaking grind. Let me play unranked for the love of Christ. Like,
I want to say a massive amount of that has to just be the fact that we started playing at like 7 a.m. to where like we're limiting the pool to basically the 8 billion Tarkov Arena streamers that have drops on.
Yeah, I mean, it was happening all day. I mean, I'm sure you're right that has a part of it.
And every team probably was fucking full of just streamers. And then one kid who's homesick, one guy who works from home, another dude who, you know,
there's just no way from like EU and like, I mean, we weren't playing on EU servers. I guess we're playing on NA servers, but there's just no way that few people are on. If 100 people were playing in our ELO range, we would run into people less frequently. Like, I don't know. It just...
I also feel like 2250... Now, granted, there were plenty of times where we were playing against, like, D+.
Yeah.
And we were all, what, Cs? But, like, 2250... Like, I feel like the average ARP was, like, 1,300.
Yeah.
Last wipe of Arena.
Yeah. Because
everybody got cucked by the system. And with a 50% win rate, you just don't progress.
Yeah.
And most people didn't have a fucking 50% win rate. So, like, you either have to squat up or play a shit ton and just get on the good side of the gear. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It just feels... Oh, yeah. Anyways, it just feels like there's infinite content. There's infinite memes. There's infinite like fun things to do outside of this. Just like it has to be ranked. You know what I mean? And I don't get it. So I don't know. You guys were playing on the day on a weekday. Yep. 14 people in North America play on a weekday. Every single person in North America works every Thursday. Yep.
Well, to be fair, so we played against a few different streamer teams.
Yeah.
But there's one more element worth considering, and that's the rhythm of you finish a game, you queue up for the same maps that the other people are queuing up for. You're the same ARP. It matched you last time. Why would it just match you again, right?
Because that's stupid. So if there are 4 available teams to get match up, that would be what I'm saying is that, sure, like that might be a part of the game. That's a part of the game to criticize then. If 4 teams are ready and it's like, oh, well, let's just keep matching these guys together, I would say that's dumb.
Yeah, so I don't know that 4 are ready. It's the fact that what within any given 10-second period of time, if literally you leave the game and then hit Q, how many people in your region right now at 8 a.m. on a Thursday morning are queued up for these 10 seconds? If it's like, hey, we found someone.
Yeah. And I'm just saying...
It makes sense to me that it would be infinitely more likely that it was the people that we just played against, which is not... It's not a defense.
No, for sure. I just feel like I would bet my main 7,000-hour Tarkov account that there are more people ready in that 10 seconds. One day after an arena wipe at 3 p.m. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying. Every single thing you said, yes, absolutely, for sure. Assuming 7 people are playing. You know what I mean? I just can't.
Nobody
or 7
wants
people
to play
are ready.
It's not fun, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody wants to play because it's not fun, and Arena is actually dead, like everybody says.
You're not wrong. Honestly,
they're all just farming drops. No one wants to play the game, dude.
Honestly, more people that happened to us infinitely more times today than yesterday. So maybe legitimately everyone was on yesterday and then stopped playing today. So
I didn't want to play today.
That would honestly be that is way more likely than just like, yeah, people are excited, but nobody was queuing at this 10 seconds. Like I just have such a hard time believing that, but I don't know. So that's it. That's a full 2.5 hours on Arena and the state of Arena and what the wipe brought. And I mean, like we didn't end up going back through the patch notes, but we talked about every single thing. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I want this game to be good so bad. A game to just like hang out with 4 other homies and really just go ham and have fun. It's just like
You're
would
right,
be
dude.
so great.
Helldivers does sound like a good time.
Yeah, I mean it is. But yeah, I mean I don't know. There's no drops numbers, on Helldivers, but yeah, I don't know. So that's it. I don't know. We said everything there is to say. I genuinely did have some fun today, but given where everything is, like I don't feel any reason to play this over Tarkov. And also I guess just to throw this out there, like if you're having fun, good. You know what I mean? Like I had some people that were just like, I don't know, seem frustrated. It's like, dude, like that's just my opinion. Like you said this earlier to me. The only metric that matters is, are you having fun? Like you were saying that to me, like I didn't have to defend like, well, I'm not a comp player and I'm not a this and that. You can just say you're not having fun. That goes the other way. If you hopped in and you were like, hey, I can unlock kits in a different way and they gave me more red dots, like you said, and I'm having a blast, that is good. You should keep playing it. You should keep investing your time until, you know what I mean, as long as you're having fun. And every time they do a major update, I will come back to check it out because I want this game to improve and get better so badly. So that's also, if you're having fun, man, I want you to be having fun. And I can still see a reason people would want to play this over Tarkov. If you've done the quests a bajillion times, you know what I mean? Like I can, even with all of the bullcrap, I can still see a reason to play this over Tarkov for a certain type of person.
Yep.
Not me. You know what I mean? So yeah. So that's the snuff. There was some Tarky snuff happening over these past few weeks, but it'll be perfect to talk about next week because I doubt anything crazy is going to happen between now and then. Once again, if you want more content like this, then you can go to patreon.com/thepodcastpod, where you get early access to these episodes. We do exclusive episodes just for the podcast. It's super fun. Thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Thank you guys for hanging, and we will definitely see you on the next one.
Peace.